Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, Bankrupt once again by Jimmy.
Sir.
And today we are going over the new Towa deck, or at least one of many variations. Variations, wow. That you may see not only through us, but everyone else, because there's so many different things you could do with this deck.
A lot of paths.
So with that being said, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click there for a reason. But let's get into today's profile.
All right, so shout out. I thought Demon Realm tokens, and I was like, you know what? What about like Nether Realm tokens? So I broke out these again. I've always loved these, and I'm hyped to actually have a token deck that is worth playing, so I can play these again. But this is Towa. I have like 12 different variations of this list because there's so many paths you can take with it. There are like toolbox, there's aggro, there's like, there's so many options. And I couldn't decide which list I wanted to build, so I just took like my favorite parts of each one and just put it into this one. There are things I'm going to change. There'll probably be another profile with this down the road of some more refinements. There's some cards in here that I just don't like and will be removed in future iterations. But we'll get into it right now.
Real quick. Limited series made this mat.
Limited series made this mat. Every time I break this mat out, everybody asks. So limited series made this mat. Go check them out. They got super dope shit. But this is Towa. It is a token deck. You play a lot of tokens. On the auto, on the attack, you play one Demon Realm Soldier token. You don't draw, which sucks, but your Awaken is very strong. If your life is at 3 or less, or you have a specified 3-drop Unison, you get to untap 2 and put a token into play, which is very strong. And then the backside, you get a draw and you get to play a token. Then you can discard 1 to play 2 tokens in rest mode, which is again very strong. And then the activate battle, which is huge. It's once per turn, spirit boost 1 black energy. You choose one of your 3 specified 3-cost unisons, and it gains 10k and double strike, which we'll get into. That's one of your main win cons, is just swinging in and catching your opponent on that activate battle. The elephant in the room, you just have to run 4 of these. There's no way around it. If you run less than 4 of these in the list, you are asking for trouble. BMS just straight up shuts this deck down, and if you don't have an easy way to deal with it, you're just going to lose to it. If you don't know what Crisis Crusher does, if you have no battle cards in play, he's a 1-drop. Your opponent cannot attack with battle cards when they just cost him 1. Which is not super relevant, but there's sometimes, like with the new cooler, there's a cooler that gains like power when a Unison's dropped, which is a fairly strong card for the list. But then the activate main is what's important. You just choose one of your opponent's battle cards when they just cost them 1 and blow it up. So BMS straight up shuts down this deck if it sticks. So you have to have a way to deal with it, and this is the best way to do it. There have been matches where I've sided one out because I know my opponent just does not run BMS, but you just need 4 of these in your main board at all times. There is no way around it. Do not play this deck without 4 Crisis Crusher in the main. Speaking of cards that get hit by BMS, these cards are very strong. The Salsa and Shroom. So they have an activate main very similar to the old Mecha Gabora list, which gets me hype. It has an activate main for 1. If you have a skillless in play, you can just play this from your hand for the 1 energy. And then Salsa is the strongest. That's why this one's at a 4 of. It has a limit 1. You search top 5 for pretty much anything in your deck. Specifically, you're going to be looking for the Unison, because the Unison is a linchpin of this deck and you need to see it. The Shroom, on the other hand, is not fantastic. He does put in some work sometimes. He's the same activate main, but he has critical. But he has a spirit boost 1 that you choose one of your opponent's battle cards that just cost 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and warp it out, which is very nice. But at the time that you can play this and get the spirit boost off, most of the time you're going to be going for game with your 5-drop Towa. So he does not see as much play. I usually just play him if I don't see the Salsa early on, and I can just drop him as a 15k crit body on early turns. But I probably will like bump this down to a 2 of to put in more tech options, but the Salsa is definitely staying at a 4 of because you need to see your Unison. And speaking of the Unison, we run Mira. This card is just absolutely busted. If you're a black player and don't already have these, I would suggest picking up one, just because this card is kind of good in just every deck. He's 20k. His auto, you choose one of your skillless battle cards, and it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. 2 +1s. One of the +1s is that you play 2 Demon Realm Soldier tokens, which is just fantastic for the list. And then the other +1 is you remove one of your skillless battle cards, draw a card, and then warp one of your opponent's battle cards, which is just gross. He's 20k. He's difficult to get rid of, and there's no downside to really playing him, to be completely honest. And he's very, very important to the deck. Like I said, with the leader ability, you can tap one to give him, make him a 30k double striker, which is huge. Speaking of one of the other win cons of the deck, this card reminds me a lot of the Divine Presence Goku. It doesn't have the exact same protection, but it plays very similarly.
See, I can mess up, and you can mess up on words.
Yeah, but I'm perfect. I'm meant to do that. So deflect, double strike, already good. Has the auto that you choose 2 of your opponents, or 2 of your skillless battle cards, remove them from the game. She draws 1, restands, and gains 5k. So she's 25k, double strike, dual attacker. That draws you a card. And then the activate main, if you have 3 or more energy and you have 2 skillless battle cards in play, you can just tap 2 and play her, which is huge. This card has caught a lot of people off guard because they're just not expecting so much pressure off of a card that just costs 2. And with the Mirror Unison out, plus your leader ability to play 2 in rest mode, it's like you always have fuel for this card no matter what. Like, it's going to come out and it's going to deal some damage. It does have deflect. It does not have any protection from stuff like Charismatic, which is very popular with stuff like Cooler running around. But that's why you just try to bait the Charismatic with something else, which there's a lot of really good cards to bait out Charismatics. But this card is just fantastic. It's so fun to play. Into another package, we run the Demonic Overlord Demegra package. So he's activate main, burst 2, tap 2, choose 1 or 2 cards, add them to your life, and then you get to play a Poutine and a Gravy from your deck or warp. So this guy will play out any of your Gravy cards. This one specifically, this is a really, really good one to play on turn 2, which is usually when I like to play Demonic Overlord. Because when he swings, your opponent has the option to warp a battle card out of their drop area. If they don't, he gains 15k until the end of the next turn. He's just pretty much up 30k for 2 energy, and plus you still get another Poutine. But to talk about other Gravies, Gravy the Dark Sorcerer, this was made, this is similar to the Poutine and like the Bardock that got banned. The auto does not matter because if your leader card's blue, which we're not, but the second auto does matter. If it's removed or KO'd, you get to untap one of your energy, and he is a blocker. So this is just another small defensive option to play off of your Demonic Overlord. You can just run 2 Ritual at hands, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing because it always felt bad playing this guy over this guy in most situations. So I might play around with ratios, figure it out. This guy has won me a game before, so I'm just kind of like biased towards it. More Gravies. I run 3 of the super combos. So these are searchable by like most of your searchers in the deck, and also you can just play it out if you're really desperate, which being able to play out a super combo and then combo it off is really, really nice. And for our 4th super combo, we just run Bibbidi. So this is eroded. It can only go up to a 15k super combo, but almost every single game that I have lost at our locals has been by 5k combo. So I threw this in here just to say, I get 5 extra combo off of this. So hopefully this would snag me a game. I did not see it all night, so I can't attest to if that extra 5k combo won me a game. But that is it for the Gravies. We'll get into the Poutines. Poutine the Dark Sorcerer. This card is a bane of a lot of players' existence. It's run in every single yellow deck. You don't get the first auto because your leader card's not yellow, but you do get the second auto when your opponent plays battle card by skill or counters. You get to tap something down, and she's unique barrier, and she can be played off of Demigra. And another way to play her out, which I'll just go ahead and throw these down, is your Annihilation at hand. Swap 3, Spear Boost 1, bottom deck a card from your hand. I don't know why this card, Bandai was like so afraid of making swap and black very good. which is kind of good. But it's also a top 3 searcher. You can't grab your Mirror Unison, but you can grab pretty much everything else in the deck, and then it will play out 3-drop Poutines, which is fantastic because a majority of this deck is going to be 3-drop Poutines, just like Dark Sorcerer. Which that is the best one to play off of Demonic Overlord most of the time because you don't lose out on any effects, which you will see here. Like with this Poutine, to get the auto, you have to play her from hand, so you either have to do the Dark Overwhelm or you have to play her off a swap to get the 2 tokens in rest mode. This card was my MVP in testing, and after playing with actual cards, not on untap, this card just kind of shit the bucket every single game I played her in. The permanent is why I play her. If your leader card is black and you have Demon Realm tokens in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards cannot attack your leader card. Very, very good in stuff like Meta Cooler, where they're going to be spamming the board with Meta Coolers, Infinite Multiplication Meta Coolers. Good against stuff like AOD. It makes them like clear off a lot of your tokens, but a lot of the times like I just found that I didn't want to play her because I was just facing decks that just plays a lot of unisons. So she will likely come out or maybe find her place in the sideboard for matchups where they're very wide in battle cards. But to talk about more 3-drop Poutines, 2 of the promos, it's a blocker that just steals a 4 or less. Strong in some matchups, not so much in others. I played a lot of unison-based matchups, or like matchups like Infinite Multiplication Meta Cooler matchups, where stealing Infinite Multiplication is not very good. And in the like cooler matchup, like the straight cooler matchup, they just never played a battle card that I could take with this. So again, did not see much play. I'm still going to keep them in the list because in matchups that they're good, they're really, really good. And then the best Poutine in the deck, Might. Blocker, auto, you get to play a Demon Realm token, but you only get that off of playing with Swap or the Dark Overwhelm. You have to remember that. But then the Activate Battle is the important part. You pop one of your tokens, draw 1, she gains 10k, and she restands. So great pressure tool, great defensive tool. This card is just nuts. It was already good before, but now that we have a deck that spams tokens and basically gives her infinite fuel, like she's just invaluable in this list. There would definitely be a 4 of if I had a 4th. So that's probably where one of the I'm forgetting the name of the card already. This one's probably going to become another Might. But that is it for the Demigra, Gravy, and Poutine package. Into some counters. 2 Super Kamehameha. This card is just clutch. Kills Floodgates. Surprisingly, I did not even think about this, but the 8-drop Successor Meta Cooler, Bancroft can attest to this. The one where you Successor out and then you get to play 4 back. One of the strongest plays in that deck. I just countered the ones coming back in with Super Kamehameha, and it just kind of killed that turn. Like, it killed all of the blockers that it was going to have. Like, this card just kind of shits all over some plays, and there's not really a bad time to play this card, in my opinion. So I do like it at a 2 of. I probably wouldn't go up on it. I did see some players running Time Bullet. I do agree with Time Bullet. I think it's a good option, but me personally, I just like Super Kamehameha over Time Bullet. 2 minus Energy Balls. So this is another option to deal with BMS in the late game. It's a little overkill because it does kill a 15k ignoring barrier, and it's free if you have a unison out. It's Black's late arrival to having free counters. But it's a good deal with BMS. There are some pesky barrier cards in the game, so being able to just pop them is very, very nice for free. But the Activate Main / Battle still makes it worth, because you just get to give one of your battle cards or leader cards plus 15k until the end of the battle or the turn, whatever happens. It is Activate Main as well. So there's been some times where I need fuel for an Overwhelm, so I'll just pay 1 for this and just put it in the drop area and just give a card 15k that doesn't need it, which is kind of a waste, but it has fueled Overwhelm plays that have won me the game. This is give or take. I probably leave it in, but you could probably take it out for something like Ultimate Dragon Slaying Bullet if your locals is very unison heavy. For you supported the Dark Empire, this card's already good, and it just got better with this deck because you get fuel off of Demon Realm Soldier tokens. So if you don't end up blocking with it, you just get fuel for your Poutine or your Towa or Salsa plays. Like, card is just fantastic in this list. Being able to strike a life, basically dual negate, is always good. Onto an Overwhelm package, 2 Awakened Instincts. I have tested with the Trunks. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's a draw 1, gain +5. So he's a 25k draw 1. You don't have to discard. But I found that Bardock helped me more because in matchups where I don't see my unison, I want to see as many cards as possible. So I think in this variation of the list, the non-aggressive variation that I'm playing, I would definitely run these over the Trunks. But if you have the Trunks, they're expensive, so you can flex with them. But that's my choice here. And then I run a Scientist Boo. Again, Mirror from the Skies is probably just a straight-up better card than this, but I like the Blast from the Past here, especially since I'm seeing Chain Attack Trunks running around in GT decks. It's reminding me of when I started playing the game. So I wanted to play this card again. But draw 2, 25k, double strike, overwhelm 7 for 1 energy. Really nice. The Mira, I would just suggest running the Mira over this card. It's a 30k double striker that draws 1 and will untap an energy on your opponent's next main phase. So usually when you're playing this card, you're just turning it sideways and comboing off the 2 cards that you drew off of this. So the 30k and the -1 draw on Mira, but it being a 30k kind of equals out. But I like Scientist Boo. And then Pan as the Secret Rare. I'll probably just switch this over to Kai or possibly even Counter Boo. But Pan is just kind of live at all times in this deck. Because the amount of battle cards that you have on field in forms of tokens or like your Poutines and Gravies, that pretty much after turn 3, this card is just going to be live 100% of the game. So probably just run whatever secret rare you have that fits best with your particular list. I personally like Pan, and I might try out Kai. Because there's a lot of unison heavy decks at our locals, so being able to just pop a unison for cheap is kind of clutch.
Yep. All right. Well, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep on just buttons down below and just comment. You know, if you want to put something there, we read it.
No.
Read your cards, know your plays, and like always, fluff. Oh, I missed something. Read your cards, know your plays.
We make the mistake so you don't have to.
That's it.
There you go.
I wanted you to say it first.
I don't want to say it.
You already did. Bye.